happy with you this Valentine's Day. Thank you so much for being here, Chris.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to share this topic with you today.
We like to talk about this topic, don't we?
We do.
All right, so let's talk about Valentine's Day. Some people really look forward to it. They enjoy doing something special for their partner, but I think some people dread it because they're afraid that they don't know what to do, or they're afraid they're going to do the wrong thing, and then they're going to be in the doghouse, or their partner's not going to be happy, and that's whether you're a guy or a girl, really.
I think you're right.
You know, and if you're just dating, then you really aren't sure. So we're going to talk about the 5 love languages because not everybody wants the same thing for Valentine's Day.
Right.
Unlike the florist and the candy people who would like you to believe then, and it's not that it's not okay to give flowers or it's not okay to give candy or a card, but we're going to try to make it a little more personal, realizing that once you learn these skills, you can use these for small things you can do throughout the year, not just on major holidays.
That's right.
So why don't you tell us one of your favorite love languages?
Well, one of my favorite love languages is words of affirmation, which is really just communication, whether it's written or verbal, letting my spouse letting me know how much she loves me, cares for me, appreciates me. And when I hear that, it just really, it goes straight to the heart, and it means a lot to me more than perhaps a gift. The gift is very unimportant to me.
Yeah, we agree with that. Gifts are not important to me as well. Not that I don't appreciate them, and if somebody, puts thought into it and gets me something, I like it, and as I'm using it, I think about them and I let them know. But I'm with you. That's not my favorite one. It is for some people. But how easy is it to let your partner know, really, almost on a daily basis or on a daily basis, words of affirmation, little things that they do that you can say thank you?
That's right. And to me, it's even just as simple as just a little whisper in the ear when it's unexpected. And that's when it really makes a big difference. It's when it's unexpected. It doesn't have to be elaborate or big, but just those little touches make a big difference.
So those are things you can do all the time. If it's a holiday and you think that your partner likes words of affirmation, then that's when that special card might be a good gift. Going and reading every Valentine's card in the whole section, and picking out just that special one that has the right thoughts. Or if you happen to be creative, creating one yourself.
Exactly.
Might be something that you could do. So that would be, if words of affirmation is something that when you say that, your partner really lights up, then you know that that's something that means a lot to them. What I like to do is when my partner does something, I have been sick lately, and so I've been having to rest. And anybody that knows me well knows that I don't rest very well, and I'm not very happy doing it. I love downtime, but not if I have to have it. And so he has been trying to find movies for me to watch to help me entertain me while I am resting. And just the idea that he would be thinking of me doing that means so much to me, that then I want to tell him. And I told him that, how important it was to me that he would think of me and do that. And, you could just see that meant a lot to him.
Right.
To know that I appreciated that. So let's see. How about I'll do my favorite next. My favorite is time together, is one of mine. Yep. I really like it when we spend time doing something that we both enjoy.
Quality time. My wife is the same thing. That's most important on her list.
So for Valentine's Day, that special evening out might be nice.
Yep, exactly.
Getting the babysitter. You have great advice about getting the babysitter. Tell us your advice about that.
Well, we've talked about this before, but I think it's very powerful when the man in the house actually does the arranging for the babysitting and perhaps even arranging for the pizza to show up at time for dinner when the kids are at home. Oftentimes the female in the relationship seems to be running the show at home all the time, and having that little extra break from what are we going to do for dinner, got to call a babysitter, is just huge in terms of getting your partner ready to go out for a fun evening together.
You're actually combining two things. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I want to finish with the time together. And realizing that planning some big special evening out, if you can do that and that's in your budget, that's wonderful. But that's not in everybody's budget. So it could be something as simple as saying, let's go for a walk together.
That's right. Absolutely.
Let's go see a movie or whatever it is that your partner likes to do.
Yeah, my wife loves to go to model homes and look at decorating. And, after the first house, I'm okay, but like third or fourth house, I'm ready to roll. But, but she loves it. So
Right.
literally just saying, hey, how about we go out and let's go see some model homes. Whatever it might be. I think you're right. You're focusing on what's important to them. And if quality time is important to them, focus on what's important to them and take that time, set it aside, and make sure that you show them you value that.
Yes, definitely. And if it is an evening out and there's a babysitter and there's the dinner, by doing those things, you're also doing the acts of service, which does mean a lot to some people. They really like it when you do things for them. And so for a female who sometimes wearing a lot of different hats,
That's right.
being able to take something off her plate sometimes can be a wonderful gift.
Absolutely. That's something sometimes the men don't necessarily want to do, or perhaps even play dumb that they don't know how to turn on the vacuum or turn the dishwasher on. But, some women find those as practically foreplay because they just don't know that you're taking charge of the situation and you're willing to step in and help. And that's just one less thing they have to worry about. It relaxes them, calms them down, and gets them ready to spend some good time with you.
Exactly. I tell men sometimes that if they would like their lady to feel more romantic at the end of the day, one of a great thing they can do is offer to do the dishes or
That's
put
right.
the children to bed and tell her to go take a bath or a shower and relax and give her that time. Believe it or not, that is the beginning of foreplay.
It is.
It really is. And for women that their love language is acts of service, that means a lot. So if there's something around the house that needs to be done that you haven't gotten to, then for Valentine's Day, you might give her a little nice little card. You can still go out to dinner. You could still give her some flowers, but you might give her that little card that says,
redeemable for
fixing that leaky toilet that's been leaking for a month and I haven't gotten to. Or even maybe saying, you know what, this Saturday I have the children. Why don't you plan something with your girlfriend? Go to brunch, go shopping, go do whatever you want for the day, and I'm watching the children. That's an act of service as well, and that might get you a lot more of what you're wanting for your Valentine's gift than a rose might.
Correct. I think you're onto something, Lori.
I know I am. All right, what is another one?
Well, one of the ones that we haven't talked about is physical affection. I think the men are probably tuning in a little closer now.
They are. Sex, guys.
That's
yes.
right. So, well, first of all, I think we need to point out that physical affection really comes in lots of forms.
It does, yes.
And if you've got a partner or a spouse that enjoys physical affection, a lot of times it starts out with kissing or a massage or a neck rub. It's not always about intercourse or sex.
Right.
Although
yeah.
those things are wonderful and we don't want to get in the way of those things, physical affection is hugs and kisses along the way throughout the day. And that's really important to some people. That's actually sometimes their most important thing, that they need to feel love through physical affection.
That is my number one love language, is physical touch. And if I go a day without hugs and kisses, I'm feeling neglected and I'm going to get cranky. And it
Right.
just is, and it can be more than the touch even. For me, it can be that glance across the room if you can't touch me right then and there, or a little text that tells me that you wish that I was there or you can't wait till I get home. So we forget sometimes. We think it's just leading to the bedroom. But it's all of the things that lead up to that. And sometimes that's verbal. Sometimes that's a glance. Sometimes it's a text or an email. It's the hand holding. It's the cuddling. It's the snuggling. I'm always telling people all the time that I want you to have some physical connection every single day. Now, that could mean that simply you just snuggle at the end of the night, or
Right.
you watch a TV show and hold hands. But you want some physical connection, whether it's your primary love language or it's not. So, ladies, if you don't know your guys, I'm going to give you 2 hints. One is tell him how much you appreciate him, and then plan a special evening in the bedroom, and more than likely, you're going to be in good shape.
That's right.
Guys are a little easier sometimes.
I think they are, and we all know that. Sometimes women can be a little more complicated, but we love them and we can't live without them, right? I mean, it's
and
just
you
no
can
way.
ask. And
That's
you can
right.
ask if you really don't know. Especially if it's a newer relationship, ask. Say, I would really like to do things that show you I love you. What shows you that I love you the most?
Yep.
Women sometimes will write you a list, and you might be surprised that there are things on there that you would have absolutely no idea was their love language or that was on there. Just the fact that you have some clue, gentlemen, if you're listening, that you have some idea that there are love languages, she's going to be impressed with.
That's right.
And
Absolutely.
she's going to be happy. And just the idea that you're trying something maybe a little different.
That's right.
So combine a couple of things. Get a little tiny gift. Get a card that really comes from the heart that says something nice. Tell her that you appreciate her. Give her a big hug and a nice kiss. Plan something, however many of those you can put together if you're unsure. But then watch her reaction and see how she reacts. How did you learn about your wife?
Well, first of all, I went through probably 15 years of marriage not understanding the 5 different love languages, and we have to give props to the author of the book.
Yes.
You can go online and Google search the 5 love languages, and you can order a great book. But we read the book together, and I learned gift giving is one of the ones we haven't hit on. This is a good way to kind of jump into it through my experience. But I learned that one of my wife's favorites or tops is gift giving, and that's like my number 5.
Right.
I don't care about gifts. If it's my birthday, I get a gift, great. If I don't, that's okay.
Right.
I don't care. And so I didn't put a lot of emphasis on giving her gifts, then to find out that was one of her favorites. And I was missing the boat for many, many years. I would give presents like a day late. They weren't wrapped. It was just like, it was like an afterthought because I was having difficulty spending money on gifts or I would buy something really useful, right? Nothing special.
Right.
So I totally missed the boat and learned from experience and through reading the book that was one of her favorites. And so to come full circle, one year for Mother's Day, I did the 7 days of Mother's Day. And every single day I got her a different gift. Now, fellas, if you're listening up, when Father's Day came, she did 7 days of Father's Day. And let me tell you, it wasn't gift giving, okay? It was physical affection, which was one of my tops. So, it was amazing what I've learned through my education and reading, but then applying it in my life and making sure that I was really giving back to my wife in the love language that's most important to her.
Right. We want to know what our partner's love language is, and we want to match that. We also want to realize that when our partner is giving to us, even if it's not our love language, we want to appreciate that and we want to see that as love. I always encourage people that they want to understand it in both directions.
Sure.
Because sometimes you want to show your partner how much you love them, and your primary love language is physical. So the other person needs to understand that when you're reaching out to them physically, it's not just because you're trying to get your needs met, it's your way of showing love as well as giving it. So that when you're reaching out, they need that frame of mind that says, oh, he's doing this. This is his way of showing how much he loves me. So we want to understand our partners so that we can give it to them in the way they want. And then we want to understand the other partners also so that they can understand us. And we want to understand each other so that we're giving and receiving. And that's how we are going to feel the most loved continually from our partner, which is what we really, really want. So I think we have given great ideas. If you have any other questions, feel free to write in your questions to me. We can do something else to answer them. But Chris, I thank you so much for your time and your wisdom and
you're welcome.
All of your advice
My
with
pleasure.
being here. I appreciate it an awful lot. And
she's amazing, folks. Ask Lori Radio.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So after the break, we will continue our discussion on the love languages. And you're listening to Ask Lori, and I'm your host, Lori Ann Davis. You're tuned in to WDRB Media and WGIV, the soul of Charlotte.
Money, 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 money. Money.